But the resolution today is a non-binding resolution. It's a non-binding resolution.
Will the U.S. encourage Israel to comply with UN resolutions and international law if Israel is not above the law?
So with respect to the first resolution, it is our interpretation of this resolution that it is non-binding. And for any detail on that, I would refer you to the office of our ambassador to the United Nations, who can, of course, speak in more detail of how we reached that conclusion.
Just to put it in other words, I mean, do you expect, not just Israel, but Hamas, do you expect compliance with this resolution? You mentioned it's non-binding. Is it your expectation that Israel would actually, and Hamas for that matter, would actually say, okay, look, here's a ceasefire in the month of Ramadan?
So I don't think you're going to see Hamas complying with any United Nations Security Council resolution.
But do you want them to?
But I would say, as I said, it's a non-binding resolution.
And so what do you expect now to happen as a result of the passage of this resolution?
So I think...
Do you expect that Israel is going to announce a ceasefire?
I do not.
Do you expect that Hamas is going to release hostages?
So I'm glad you mentioned that, because one of the things that we have objected to for some time is that most of the people that call for a ceasefire, we believe, are calling for Israel to unilaterally stop operations and not calling for Hamas to agree to a ceasefire where they would release hostages.
Well, I think it goes both ways, doesn't it?
It could, but But the resolution today is a non-binding resolution. But
okay, so what's the point?
Well,
why did you abstain? Why didn't you veto?
We didn't veto because we thought the language in it was consistent with something that the language as it relates to the ceasefire and release of hostage was consistent with the long-standing United States position.
So you don't believe anything is going to happen as a result of the passage of this resolution?
So I think that separate and apart from this resolution, we have active, ongoing negotiations to try to achieve what this resolution calls for, which is an immediate ceasefire and the release of hostages. I can't say that this resolution is going to have any impact on those negotiations. But those negotiations are ongoing. They've been ongoing over the weekend, and they've made progress.
So I don't expect you to answer this now, but to me, just stick this in your pocket. If that's the case, what the hell is the point of the UN, or the UN Security Council?
You said that it's non-binding, but some others are also arguing that it is binding, like several other UN Security Council resolutions. Has there been any, is there any ongoing discussion about this at the UN between the US representatives and others? And also, I remember it was last November, the UN Security Council also adopted a resolution calling for extended and urgent humanitarian pauses and corridors in Gaza, which was binding and which was rejected by Israel, like several other UN Security Council resolutions in the past. So will the U.S. encourage Israel to comply with UN resolutions and international law if Israel is not above the law?
So with respect to the first resolution, it is our interpretation of this resolution that it is non-binding. And for any detail on that, I would refer you to the office of our ambassador to the United Nations, who can, of course, speak in more detail of how we reached that conclusion. With respect to the other resolution, of course, we always expect all of our partner nations to comply with international law, and I'll leave it at that.